Hey Groovers, here I am just doing a nice little reformer sesh for myself in between clients. I've got the foot bar almost all the way up and I've got one yellow spring on, and we're going to start in 4 point for knee stretch. I like to do this with my hands quite wide so that I can place the humeral heads in the joints. And once we're on, we're trying to lengthen through the spine, reach back through the heels, and just get some good hip disassociation here as we move the carriage back and forth. So we do 10 or so of those, and then we're just going to flow straight into up stretch. So as I press the carriage back, I'm going to roll into my thumbs. And as I bring the carriage forward, I'm going to roll into the pinky fingers and draw my hands downward to allow a bit of extension in my thoracic spine. For this one, it feels good to inhale as I bring the carriage forward to help facilitate that little bit of extension in my upper back, and exhale to bring the carriage back. And again, do 5 to 10 here. Next, we're going into elephant. So I'm stepping up onto my feet and I'm placing my feet where I can connect my heels nicely on the reformer. So some people might have their feet further back, some people might have their feet further forward. And sometimes I teach this one with something underneath the heels, like a towel or the Makaloo domes, for people who might be a bit tight in their calves, hamstrings, lower back. As we press the carriage back, we're pressing the heels down and back. To bring the carriage in, we're pressing the heels down and forward. So we're using the heel glide to drive this exercise. And from here, we'll flow into plank. And we're just going to flow from plank to pike, or plank to elephant. Usually this sort of shape is called pike on the mat, and then elephant on the reformer. So whatever you want to call it. Rolling through the feet, keeping the spine long, and we do 5 to 10 here. And then we're just going to take it into long stretch. So we come into plank and we just reach the body forward, bringing the reformer carriage in as far as you can. Maybe you can bring the carriage in all the way for long stretch. After 5 to 10 of that sequence with your down stretch, bring the carriage into pike, slide the hands off the bar and roll up. Take a breath in at the top. As you exhale, roll back down and place your hands to one side on the outside edge of the reformer for oblique knee stretch. So we're coming back down onto our knees and we're in a side bend as we do our knee stretch movement, just getting that good hip disassociation as we move the carriage back and forth. So you can do your knee stretches and your elephants in C curve or flat back. Today I'm doing them in C curve. We'll do 5 to 10 on each side. Inhale as the carriage goes back. Exhale as the carriage comes forward. We're going to go straight into some kneeling arm work. I'm just changing to a blue spring here, and I've just had to stand up and come around and grab my straps. Hopefully yours are already there and you can just flow straight into it. We're doing hug a tree. So we start with our arms out to the side, placing the humeral head, which means your hands will be a little bit forward of your body. And you're just moving your arms in a U shape to move the reformer. Inhale as we take the arms out to the side. Exhale as we bring the arms back. So of course you can do this in a high kneel if you like, or seated. We're going to do 5 to 10, and then we're going to transition to scoops. So for scoops, we'll start with the arms down by your sides. And as you exhale, you raise the arms, and it's like you're scooping your hands under a pile of logs and lifting up a big pile of logs. Inhale to lower down. On the way up, you're just reaching up a little bit through the pinky finger. We do 5 to 10 here as well. We're flowing from scoops to salute. So we bring the arms up overhead, and we have our hands quite wide, starting with your hands wider than your shoulders, and just trying to find that nice arm spiral as you press your arms away from you on a diagonal, and then coming back in. Exhale to press out and away. Inhale, return, and just feeling that nice gentle rotation in the shoulder joint as you move. Cool, so we're going to hang up the straps and turn around to face the other way. On the way, I'm just going to adjust my camera a little bit so you can see me better. And this time we're going to be in long sit, but once again, if you want to kneel or high kneel or even sit with your legs crossed instead, that's totally fine. And we go into chest expansion. So we have our fingers in the straps, and we start with the arms forward. We take the arms around and back, and sometimes with my clients I'll call this the tutu exercise if it's appropriate, because one of the cues that I find useful is taking your hands around like you're wearing a big tutu and you're taking your hands around the tutu. After your chest expansion, we're going to go to bicep curl. Depending on where your straps are, you'll probably need to scooch back a little bit, I usually prefer just to scooch back rather than adjust the strap, just because it's less of an interruption and it just keeps a bit more flow through the class. And for bicep curls, we start with the arms up just a little bit lower than the shoulders, palms facing down. And as you exhale, you roll your pinky finger around and up, just getting that nice spiral as you bend at the elbow. On the inhale, returning, rotating the palm to face down. When you come in, your hand doesn't come all the way into the shoulder, just sort of halfway, three quarters of the way, and then returning. And we can do 5 to 10-ish here. Cool, so we hang the straps up, and I'm going to come around and stand in the well of the reformer. The jump board's just sitting on the floor there, so I'm just moving it out of the way. And we stand in the well with our feet hip width apart. Where exactly you stand will be a bit different for each body. So if you're a bit taller, you might stand further back. If you're a bit shorter, you might stand closer to the carriage. And put one foot onto the headrest, and as you exhale, press your heel down and back to pull the carriage towards you. And as you inhale, send the carriage away. So we might do a few here, and then we might add some rotation, a little bit more challenging balance-wise and coordination-wise. Just getting some nice movement through the spine. As we add the rotation, the front palm faces down, the back palm faces up. And of course, we do the same thing on the other side. Cool, so as you do when you have your own business, I did get interrupted and I've filmed the last little bit later on. That's why the lighting's different and there's a cut here. So we're still in the well and standing with our feet hip width apart. And we've taken our foot off after doing our single leg work. And from here, take a breath in. As you exhale, roll down and place your hands onto either the shoulder rests, or you can put them on the strap posts. And we're just doing a nice little spinal wave here. So as you exhale, pull the carriage towards you and make a C curve. As you inhale, send the carriage away and try to reach your heart forward. So it's like a cat-cow standing up. And throughout this, we try to just keep some awareness of the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, and the heel. Keeping some elongation through the back of the body. And we do 5 to 10. And then we're going to do the oblique version here as well. So I've chosen to place one hand on top of the shoulder rest and one hand holding on to the side of the strap post. But there are other configurations that you can play around with for your hand position. And so we're in a side bend and a little bit of rotation here, but we're still doing the same movement. Exhale, C-curve the carriage in. Inhale, send the carriage away. And as you do this, usually you'll naturally bend the outside knee, which is fine. And once again, we do 5 to 10 on each side. Once you've done your last rep on the second side, you send the carriage away, so the carriage goes all the way back into the stopper, and slide the hands down so that you can just roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. And when you get to the top, you're all done. Hope you likey.